Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus.
What?
Yeah, welcome.
We're doing a podcast?
Yeah.
On what?
Pepita, the cat.
Oh. Oh. So welcome to the Pepita podcast.
The Pepita Fall Podcast. Hi, bud. I wish I could lift you up.
So, is it the end of the podcast?
Wait, let's see if it's the end of the podcast. I am attached to a microphone. Hey. Hey. That's the stinky girl.
Just kidding, this is Impact Wrestling.
Well, it's, yeah.
Nothing happened. Now we can end
No,
the
really,
podcast.
nothing happened. Yeah, no, this was a really...
And you know how you can tell nothing happened? Because there was only one match that was under 15 minutes long. The first match was almost 20. The second match, which was fucking Macklin versus James Storm, was literally 15 minutes long. Chelsea Green versus Mickie James was about 16 or 17. And then the main event, I actually have the exact time here. Let's see. 17 minutes. There was one match that was 1 minute long. And like, normally this would be fine. I'd be like, hell yeah, long matches. But that's not Impact. Impact doesn't do that, and they only do that when they don't have shit otherwise.
Yeah.
We had one development in the whole show. What, two? We had two. It was announced that Sabin and Shelly would face each other next week, and the winner faces Josh at Emergence.
Super excited for that.
Yeah. And we also went to the Undead Realm, as the title of this podcast suggests. It was bad. This whole thing was bad.
I loved that promo. I thought that was so much fun.
But the thing is, like, just go to a fucking, go to the woods. Film in the fucking woods. You filmed in fucking, on a farm where Deanna and
But that
Mickie...
didn't require any lighting.
They didn't have to go at night. They could have went in the day. We're like...
But then it would have been spooky.
They could have went at night. I mean, you could still light at night. They got
Mark, just say that you want a redo of the swamp match from Extreme Rules and move on.
But the thing is that was a match. This wasn't. This was just a promo. You could have filmed a little 5-minute short film in the woods. It would have been fine. It wouldn't have been any worse than Impact's current production value, which is very low. Instead of fucking shooting them on a green screen and then keying them into the fucking B-roll of the woods. So schlocky.
I loved it. What is Impact if not just a little bit schlocky?
That's what we have MLW for. MLW's the schlock. Impact should be better. But anyway,
I don't know what to tell you.
Our main event was Honor No More vs. Bullet Club. Had zero interest in that. I'm tired of Honor No More. I'm so tired of them.
multi-man matches just kind of take the stuffings out of me a little bit. Like, it's just a lot, and it's kind of formulaic after a while, which you would think that like a multi-man match wouldn't be, but like a lot of times they are.
Especially with Honor No More, because their matches are the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And there's never any developments with Honor No More. Nothing changes. I don't even know what they want anymore. Like, what's their goal? What are they trying to... They're not going for any titles. They're not, like...
Yeah.
They're not out for anything. They don't want to reshape Impact Wrestling. They're just there. I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I enjoyed from... I enjoyed a couple things, but... The opening match was a ton of fun. Violent by Design versus Motor City Machine Guns and Josh Alexander. We also had Steve Macklin versus James Storm. Chelsea Green versus Mickie James. Tennille Dashwood versus Masha Slamovic. And Honor No More versus Bullet Club. These,
it was... I wanted more from the Chelsea Mickie James match. That, like...
Besides them making
I thought that should be a main event. Because, like... that has, like, a real hard storyline that, like... This match meant something, you know?
The main event should have been VBD versus Motor City Machine Guns and Josh. Like, I get why they didn't do that. But that's better than Honor No Losers. Maybe, like, I would even take Macklin versus James Storm as the main event. Like, any of these matches would have been a better main event besides Honor No More versus Bullet Club.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about some news before we dive into the episode?
Yeah. You can do it, buddy. Our cat is like currently just like going to jump, but she feels the breeze from the air conditioner on her, and she's like, oh.
She's factoring in the wind.
And there she is. Please don't eat that string. Oh my god. Why is it the first? Because I've got my embroidery project on there, and of course she immediately is like, oh, what if I ate that?
Isn't there a needle in there too?
Well, the needle is very safely stowed away in the project, yes, but please don't eat the feathers either. Oh my.
We're never going to get to this podcast. Feathers.
I'm begging. You're standing on my papers. Oh my god.
She has so much stuff on that bed.
Sweetheart. Okay, so let's move this, I guess. I think that's the last thing that you can really fuck with. And I'll just throw it on the fucking ground for now, okay?
I've never seen a cat cause so much problems in a podcast before.
No, don't get down. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to need you. I love you. Stay up there.
What is going on?
I'm well fun. Stay out there. You're fine.
Is the cat really causing that many problems?
She really is, actually. Now I feel like I've upset her, and I feel like she's gonna jump down because I took away all the fun things that are
So do you want to go into the news?
Yeah, I'll go into the news.
Where's the sign?
The sign is...
You can't even see her.
You don't have to see her. You just have to know that I worked really hard on writing on some papers, and she's currently stomping all over them. Anywho. Let's do the fucking news. I feel like the epitome of the we'll do it live. Alright, so not a ton of news today, as anyone would expect, but some things something that people may have seen is that right now New Japan has teased a Forbidden Door documentary. They released like a little trailer featuring some notable names, like every guy that was in Forbidden Door.
And they listed a bunch of names that were interviewed for Forbidden Door, plus a lot more, like I think like Jay White, Okada, I think Lance Archer, a bunch of people, and I'm really excited for it to come out because I think that's definitely something that deserves a documentary.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I guess like we've got a lot of AEW and a lot of WWE. But let's start with some not really WWE news. Santino Marella is now working with the one and only Marty fucking Squirrel, which is a choice, I guess. A bad choice. And he got a lot of heat for it because Marty Squirrel's a piece of shit, allegedly. And Santino Marella decided to tweet because he's just the most oh god, I forgot the word. The most giving man. Everyone deserves a second chance to redeem themselves. He tweeted that and then immediately deleted the tweet. It is kind of funny though because the tweet that was announcing Marty Squirrel as being a part of whatever this Santino Marella was doing for fucking I don't even know. For Battle Arts Wrestling. That tweet has now been deleted as well, so it's not really clear if Marty Squirrel's actually going to be a part of it or not.
Also, Santino's acting like Marty's not wrestling. He's wrestled like at least a couple times this year already.
Hasn't it mostly been in Mexico though?
Let's see. Let's go to Marty Squirrel's cage match.
I don't want to have a chance to see this shit.
Oh yeah, he's actually like 11 matches this year.
11 more than he deserves.
MLA, which is in Georgia, CWA, which is Puerto Rico, Robles, which is Mexico, Unlimited Wrestling, which is in Germany, Mexico, Germany, Georgia, Poland. Yeah, he's wrestled Mascara Dorada a lot. Mascara Dorada. Grand Metalik. Wrestled Juventud Guerrera in April. So it's not like he's been completely like blacklisted. He's still wrestling.
Yeah, I mean,
because no one's ever really canceled.
Right.
Unless you're Joey Ryan.
The one living example of cancel culture. Do you see this shit, by the way?
Yeah. Showing her ass to the camera.
It's not my fault. In other news, let's save the AW news for last, I guess. There is apparently at this point, much like you said, it's been kind of noted that most wrestling promotions that have been trying to book Sasha Banks were told that she was only taking non-wrestling related bookings until January 1st of next year. So
maybe she wants to take a little break.
Maybe. I mean, January 1st is not that far away, weirdly enough to say.
I'd honestly be surprised if she returns to wrestling at all.
I would be too, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't need wrestling. Really.
It doesn't.
And I'm sure there's more money to be made doing anything else, and there's more longevity to it as well.
She might also really enjoy wrestling, so I maybe I could see her being part-time, maybe like AEW.
Maybe. I mean, when you're a women's wrestler in AEW.
Yeah, but Sasha Banks is different. Sasha Banks, she would run that division. Like, she'd tell Tony Khan, go fuck yourself. I'm booking myself.
Also, apparently, I didn't know this. Next week in 2.0, they're going to have a 20-woman battle royale for women
For
title,
women.
maybe for women.
I didn't know that either. I didn't see that as part of the episode.
And Bayley is teasing that she's going to return for it, and I was like, "Sure, Bayley.
What isn't Bayley teasing?
Whatever you say." Yeah, I know. Let's talk about some AEW news. First things first, Bobby Fish is back. He defeated Blake Lee in AEW Dark Elevation. Thank God. Missed that boy.
Oh, you missed one crucial piece of WWE news. The biggest piece of news that we've...
Oh, why don't we save that for last? Because that's actually like a talking point.
Okay. All right.
Also, there is more and more speculation that AEW is going to be going to the UK relatively soon. Apparently, JR has kind of been confirming it, which I don't really know how much JR knows, but I guess he knows enough that we're taking it seriously. But he's like saying that Tony Khan's got great business connects over there, and that like it's pretty much just a matter of time at this point that they're going to get that they get great television ratings in the UK already. So like, why not? And I mean, it's not really shocking because Tony Khan does literally own a football club. So I'm sure he does have the connects over there.
Yeah.
And also, funny enough, there's a little bit of a more speculation that the AEW title change from last night for the tag titles was not what it should have been because I don't feel like going into the entire like timeline of all this, but basically Hobbs used his own hand to tag Starks in. Starks obviously was the man that got pinned. Hobbs was not the legal man. So Hobbs had no business tagging out to begin with.
I don't think that was a matter of it shouldn't have happened, but rather let's hope nobody notices.
Yeah, no, it's a botch, but I don't think that like anything went wrong. I just think that it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
We overlooked that.
Yep.
So yeah, let's go into your little piece of news there.
So, it was announced today, but not really announced. It's being reported on that WWE is switching to going from PG to TV 14, which means the PG era could officially be over if this report is accurate. Andrew Zarian tweeted, "This is a wild situation. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. WWE Raw won't be going to TV 14 on July 18th, but still in consideration for a later date. We'll go live tomorrow morning to break this down." So, what that means is probably not much. I can almost guarantee nothing's going to change. Because, as Ryan Satin put it, they're still going to want to appeal to the same sponsors.
Yeah.
Same advertisers, so they're not going to be changing their content whatsoever. Maybe they'll throw in some shits here and there. Maybe a little more blood. But nothing big is going to change. And I think it was also Andrew Zarian who said, I could be wrong, but it was said that the higher ups at WWE aren't even sure about going through with this. Like they're still unsure. So
yeah.
Might not even happen, but it could. And in which case I personally think it'll be a very good thing. if they actually like roll with it and not just have it for rating's sake.
Yeah.
I especially with Stephanie McMahon at the helm. If you get Vince out of booking, have Stephanie booking.
Yeah.
I think you'd see a big content improvement.
Definitely. I mean, it's not shocking either, though, is it?
Yeah.
Also, I do have one more piece of news. Sorry, I missed this.
Okay.
I don't mean to upend the piece of news that I wanted to keep for last, but the dyad. So, as we all know, we haven't seen the grizzled young veterans since April 19th. They lost to Legato. There has been speculation that they are the dyad, Joe Gacy's little hench buddies. Turns out that, according to PW Insider, James Drake and Zach Gibson now have new names. And as we noticed at NXT 2.0, Gacy renamed his group the Schism, and the Dyad soldiers are going to experience a christening next week. But James Drake and Zach Gibson have new names, which don't really work in the Schism, because like you'll understand what I mean thematically. James Drake is now Jagger Reed.
Jagger Reed.
Fucking bullshit, dude.
That's not a bad name, Jagger Reed.
It's not awful, but like, fuck, it's not great, is it?
Yeah.
And then Zach Gibson is now being called Rip Fowler, which I actually think.
Wait, Rick?
And maybe
Rip?
this is just me. Rip, R.I.P.
Yes, R.I.P.
But maybe this might just be me because I'm a fucking lunatic. But I know that Zach Gibson's a big Liverpool fan. And there is a fucking like major fucking player for Liverpool called Robbie Fowler. And I'm just wondering if maybe he had like a little bit of like a finger in the pot at least when he got like the new name. That maybe he was like,
maybe Vince is a Liverpool fan.
Don't say that.
I feel like Vince isn't even doing these name changes. Maybe it's like
No.
Shawn Michaels. Maybe he's a Liverpool fan.
Or maybe somebody was just like, yeah, sure, Zach, whatever. We don't fucking care.
Or they just looked up Liverpool and picked the first name that they saw and it looked cool.
But yeah, I was like, there's R and Fowler, and maybe that's the thing. But yeah, so it doesn't sound like something that would go along with the Schism necessarily, but like,
yeah.
What the fuck do I know? I'm just excited that maybe we'll see them sometime soon in some capacity. I know that like we're gonna see them, and James Drake is probably gonna have like a shaved fucking head, and Zach Gibson's going to, I don't know.
It's gonna be funny for
have like eyeliner, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world actually, but still, it's just like I feel like the grizzled young veterans that we had are gone.
It's gonna be funny for 1 week, and then they'll continue to be booked as they are with Joe Gacy, and we're gonna be fucking tired of it. I can guarantee that. Because, I mean, I'm already fucking tired of Gacy and the Dyad. I don't want to see them on my TV anymore.
I'm just excited for the Dyad to not have to wrestle in fucking cloaks.
Oh, you think they'll stop wrestling in cloaks?
Yeah, no, I think that they're going to look badass. You can't be called Jagger Reed and wear a fucking cloak. I'm sorry.
I hope they keep up, like, the mystery, like the mystical thing, but they are, like, wrapped like mummies.
Okay.
Like wrist tape, but all over their body. And underneath all the bandaging, you just hear like, soon to be recognized.
The Schism. Yeah, so I'm excited to see them again.
Yeah. They just don't fit with Gacy. Like, this is bad. Like, this doesn't go. I'm hoping...
It doesn't.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they're just playing placeholder in the Schism. The Schism. And then when they do the christening, it's Like, they bring in 2 new people, you know? And,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then GYV come back as their old selves, but it would be hilarious to see them unveiled and, like, brainwashed for 1 episode. But that's why you can't do it, because it would only be funny for 1 episode.
Yeah. That's completely fair. I'm just... Sorry, I've got to plug my laptop in. I'm just interested to see where this fucking goes. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. But we have Impact right now.
Yes, we do.
Let's talk about some Impact Wrestling. And if you missed yesterday's episode, our recap of Dynamite, we did our predictions for the New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax. Check it out if you want to stay in the know on what we voted for. Some of us made some very bold predictions.
Yeah, Pepita.
Yeah. Alright, but we started off today's Impact with Diener and Joe Doring. They're backstage right before their match, kind of like right outside the ramp. Diener's like, I don't know where Eric is. We're going to have to do this alone. Maybe this is the test, the chance to prove ourselves. And then their entrance starts and they walk out. And we get Violent by Design versus Motor City Machine Guns and Josh Alexander. Eric Young then eventually follows right when the bell rings, and it's a 3-on-3.
Yeah. So yeah, Eric Young comes out, and Diener and Josh start the match. Josh gets Diener's hand and kind of like fucks with it. He gets Shelly in. Shelly gets the pump handle on the arm of Diener, and then he hands him off to Sabin. Sabin does the exact same over the ropes. Then Sabin gets in for 5 seconds. Josh gets back in. He gets some chops to Diener. Drops Diener with the chops. And then gets a heel hook on him. But Doring ends up pulling Diener to safety before Diener can end up fucking tapping out in the first 3 minutes of the match. Young, however, gets a cheap shot in because Josh is focusing on Diener and Doring and not Eric. And then we get a power slam to Josh after Doring gets his ass in there. Diener tags back in, though, and like 5 seconds later, drop kicks Josh in the butt. And they were like, because Josh was like kind of like bent over in front of like the second turnbuckle, and like Tom and Ray Walt were like, oh, it's compressing the surgically repaired neck of Josh Alexander. I was like, it literally just looked like he drop kicked his ass. That's it. And Doring then gets back in, kind of yoinking the arm of Josh as Shelly tries to like cheer him on, tries to get him like back in the fucking game in some capacity. Doesn't really work. Diener gets in, hits a snap suplex to Josh. He covers, but Josh kicks out. Shelly almost like goes to break up the cover. We then get an elbow drop to Josh from Doring that really fucking misses. Like Doring's like bicep lands on Josh. I'm sure it was just to be safe, but it looked like it would have really hurt Doring because like he went elbow first into the mat, and I was like, oh damn. Starts twisting Josh's neck. Josh starts fighting back with some elbows. Gets leveled, though, by a huge fucking crossbody from Doring. I mean, if you ever saw that shit running at you, I would fucking... It's like a rhino. Sabin gets in after the commercial break. He gets Shelly, and Shelly splashes Diener. Young comes in for a little bit, gets a cutter from Sabin, then a flatliner combo by Motor City Machine Guns to Mr. Diener. Finally, Josh ends up meeting up with Eric. They're both in. Josh kind of he hits Eric with a fireman's carry takeover, then a Northern Lights suplex. Doesn't get the pin though. Josh then wants the ankle lock, but Eric gets free almost immediately. Shelly then tags in, so we've kind of got we've moved past the Josh Eric feud for a moment. Shelly gets hit with a tag team offense, doesn't stay down for the pin though. Then Sabin also gets in. They both hit super kicks to Eric Young, and Josh sends Doring free of the ring. Sabin cannonballs onto him. And then Shelly gets the Motor City stretch on Diener. Josh gets the ankle lock on Eric Young. Both men tap out. Not a great look. A very obvious protecting Doring situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised nothing happened with Violent by Design in this match at all. Like, there was no development with them. Eric Young didn't, like, do anything. And that's why, another reason why this was just a whole bullshit episode. There was no development. Like, Eric Young could have simply just not tagged in to, as Diener said, give them the test. But no, it was a normal match. In fact, after the match, Violent by Design weren't even a factor at all, and it was all Sabin, Shelly, and Josh. And then lead up to Emergence.
It was really just setting up for next week, which...
Yeah. I mean...
I guess that's fair. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, what should happen is, like, Eric Young's like, you guys fight each other. Winner stays in Violent by Design. I feel like that's a decent enough storyline. Maybe Diener somehow survives. Wouldn't that be crazy? Diener beats Joe Doring.
Diener versus Diener ends up going for the title then. He was the missing link.
Or he should introduce a new member into Violent by Design. I feel like that's like the way to go now. Like, get a fresh face in there.
Because I mean,
have a little bit of internal struggle.
And I mean, we haven't filled the space that Rhino left.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just fucking. Yeah.
Like at this point, who joins Violent by Design? Who, in your opinion? Who? Heath. Oh my god.
Heath wants to be part of everything. Let him be.
Let me check out the roster. Let me see who could possibly join. You want to go real crazy with it? Get Speedball in Violent by Design. That would be a swerve. I mean, like, obvious answer would be like Krasny Steve or Black Taurus, because they have like a vibe, but they're not leaving Decay. Who's kind of clueless right now, like without a team? Fulton, get Fulton in there. Fucking Madman Fulton and Violent by Design.
That'd be kind of scary.
Cause he's what's his name left him, Ace Austin left him, so he's, got nowhere to be. He's really like, if you really want to like go crazy with it, Trey Miguel. If Trey Miguel joined Violent by Design, fucking repackage him, that would be insane. But I doubt any of that's gonna happen. So after that match, we had a vignette for Killer Kelly. This one was a little bit new. It was her in the motel room, kind of peeking out to the outside world.
What is her vibe?
I don't know what her vibe is, but it's pretty cool. They've been doing some good vignettes. Like, you do fucking vignettes, like, you rent out a fucking motel room for Killer Kelly. Just go to the woods for Rosemary and Taya. Like, it's you put in effort for Killer Kelly, but put in a little bit of the same effort for the ongoing storyline. After that, we had Steve Macklin versus James Storm.
Yeah, this is a match that, clunky and not a great vibe. And also a very slow start. It was not very interesting. Storm ends up throwing Macklin. We get a big backbreaker to Storm, though. Basically, Storm throws Macklin, and that was like the first thing that happened that was significant. And then I just like it went to commercial, and then it came back, and then I took my second note. So that was how long it took for the match to really pick up speed. We get a big backbreaker to Storm though right after the commercial break, and like a nasty one, mind you. Storm starts fighting back with some fists, only to get like a really fucked up Uranagi. Like Macklin like goes, grabs him in the corner, and like kind of like moves to like throw him forward, but like steps short and like stumps himself and stumbles, sending Storm like kind of higher up on his neck than he should have been. It was just like, fuck me. It was a mess. Then we get an enziguri to the back of Macklin's neck and a neck breaker. But Macklin ends up getting the crosshairs off to Storm. Storm ends up kicking out. Macklin goes for Mayhem for All, but Storm gets free. Goes for an Eye of the Storm, but Macklin gets free. Macklin goes for an underhook DDT, but Storm pushes into the gut of Macklin, hits him with a Super Rana, then an elbow drop, and a cover. Macklin kicks. We get a face buster or like a jawbreaker of some sort to Macklin, which was also fucked up because like Storm's leg, one leg was already extended like flat, the other one like was supposed to be the one that made contact, I guess, and it was just like a knee to the jaw. And then we get a DDT Storm after Macklin sends Storm face first into an exposed turnbuckle. The pad comes off. Storm gets shoved into it. Macklin hits the DDT. Macklin wins.
Yeah, pretty underwhelming. And then the lights go out. Sami Callihan shows up, but Macklin sees it coming. He's already up that ramp away from Sami. I'm really hoping that in this feud, Macklin comes out on top. Because the dude should be like this should be the last feud before Macklin is in that world title picture. The dude honestly deserves it right now. And he could definitely have an amazing match against Josh at this point. I mean, as Hannafin like mentioned during this match, he beat Jay White and Jay White and Chris Sabin in a triple threat. And I think he beat Alex Shelley in a singles match. It's like the dude has some credibility on Impact. So then we had Motor City Machine Guns with Scott D'Amore backstage. Sabin said, earlier tonight, I handed Josh the belt. When I touched it, I felt something in my soul. He may have never even gotten on that path without me recommending option C to him. Scott says, you may be the most decorated wrestler in history. I saw that look in your eye. Impact is about opportunities. We let people earn it. I'm going to let you do that. I also saw Alex Shelley win it for your side. You guys are Impact OGs. Next week, Sabin vs. Shelley in a #1 contenders match, and winner will face Josh at Emergence. Scott walks away, and Sabin looks at Shelley like, one more time, run it back. So that's going to be an insane match. They're kind of giving Sabin all these dream matches, like running it back one more time. We got Kaz.
Are you saying that you think that he might be
retiring?
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like they'll give him his program against Josh, and that might be it. And what better way to have a main event than a title versus career match? Wouldn't that be something?
That would be. I really don't think that Sabin's done yet, though.
I think he's getting there. I really think he is, because at this point, what left is there to accomplish, you know? How old is Chris Sabin, by the way?
I don't know.
I feel like he's not that old. He's 40. Wow, he's only 40. And he's accomplished so much at 40. Like,
that's not that old, really.
Yeah, like he's as old as Finn Balor. Like at this point, Chris Sabin could just like go to AEW and just run the gauntlet there. Because I don't think AEW would, or WWE would hire him, since they're looking for young talent. And I don't think Saban would offer too much with WWE. Yeah, like, he's had a career in Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact. He's been in Impact for 3 years now, since his return. So maybe AEW's next.
I doubt it. He doesn't seem like an AEW guy. He's just a little too gritty.
I don't know. I think he might want to, just to, like, you know, cross it off the list. Run the gamut. But who knows? Maybe with Ring of Honor coming back, maybe that's where he might want to consider going. You know? Anyway. After that, we had Chelsea Green versus Mickie James in what I feel like was an unnecessarily long match.
It definitely ran its course. We start with a makeout session. You know.
I saw Impact, their Twitter reference Stratus and Mickie James. I think that's what that was, a callback to.
Yeah. Tom Hannafin said that too. So yeah, we get a quick little makeout session. Mickie is then sent ringside after a bulldog sends her face first into the mat. Chelsea goes for the baseball slide, but James hits her with a fist and then a seated senton. We get a drop kick though to James, and then a big boot to the face of Chelsea. And Chelsea turns that around into a ground and pound on Mickie. Mickie powers up and out of a submission with like a knee to the back and her arms stretched back. She powers up, like bridging a little bit. Sends a boot to the chest of Green, who gets a pump kick to Mickie. Mickie is then shoved face first into the buckles by way of Chelsea's boot. Like, she kind of like rebounds her off of it. I don't really know how to describe it. Chelsea then says, "Get out of my ring," and sits on the ropes, shows her the way out. Mickie ends up getting like this really soft toss little kick to the back of Chelsea's head. Sends her up the ramp. We get some punches to the chin of Green, and then we get back in the ring. We get a neckbreaker to Green. Green gets sent face first into the canvas. Mickie then goes up top, gets the seated senton, gets the Mick kick, gets Green down, but Chelsea, however, manages to reach the bottom rope. We then get a stomp to Mickie. Chelsea goes for the pin, but Green gets a fistful of Mickey's, I guess, trunks, for lack of a better term. And the ref is like, "No, silly. I'm not stupid." But then Green eventually gets the win by putting her feet up on the ropes, and the ref counts to 3. So.
Breaking news, apparently.
Breaking news?
Tony Khan weighed in on the whole ref, or the whole main event of yesterday's Dynamite, saying everyone's speculation complete BS. Says the ref's decision is final.
Tony, I wasn't questioning
you. He said it's
a bit defensive, are we? Are we defensive? Good Lord, my man.
His exact quote was, "That speculation's BS." As always, in at AEW, plus per generally accepted pro wrestling practices, the referee's decision is final. Congratulations to the new World Tag Team Champions Swerve and Keith Lee. See you all for Friday Rampage tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Pacific. Like 10 p.m. Pacific, what? Is that really how it works? 10 p.m.
What?
Pacific?
What are you talking about? Oh.
Rampage 10, it says 10 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific.
That's not how that works. Tony Khan fucked it up. unless it is at 10 p.m. Pacific time, and he's just
like maybe they
showing
intentionally air it then.
That seems really stupid though, because like then everyone's already watched it. No, that's literally not how television networks work. I don't think.
I don't know. I know I work in TV, but I don't know.
Not that TV, I guess.
So then we get, oh boy, here we go. We get Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. And Taya walks in, she's like, I think I got the outfit right. I think it matches our Undead Realm vibe. Rosemary's like, we're about to embark on a mission in the Undead Realm. Might I remind you, your fashion is not a priority. Maybe you're not ready. And Taya says, I am. I stand by what I said. I'm just scared. Rosemary says, we follow our directions. I'll keep you safe if you listen. We get in, get Havoc, and get out. By the way, I love them as a tag team. They are adorable.
Oh, I know. They are. They're fucking so sweet.
That's why I kind of don't want Havoc to come back, because Rosemary and Taya are amazing. Their chemistry is like, is so amazing.
Yeah.
So they teleport to like some bog in the Undead Realm. It's like
some bog.
It's like a bog because they said it's like wet. It's the woods. It's the wet woods, which is like a bog. They call it the Undead Realm. It's just like, it looks like woods, but it's them in front of a green screen with B-roll of woods. And they start walking, searching for Havoc. It's like they tried to key them out well enough, but you could see around their hair, you could see little bits of green popping in every now and then. Taya then sees a portal. She goes into it after not listening to Rosemary, and she's teleported to this all white dimension, I guess, realm. And she's like, okay, this is more my vibe. It's like a blank slate. She's talking about decorating the place, and I'm just like, Taya, this is the Undead Realm. Focus. She realizes she split up from Rosemary, and she goes to find, or she runs into Havoc, who now has pink hair. Rosemary then goes into the same portal. She finds Havoc and Taya, and Taya says, I see you've met Jessica. And now I think Havoc's gone through a bit of a gimmick change. Seems to be Jessica and not Havoc. Probably less scary, at least for the time being. They might have a storyline where they put the evil back in her. But
I think that'll be fun. That's a very impacty thing to do, I feel.
It is. And especially with Rosemary and Taya involved, it'll be a lot of fun, but like this is just so goofy. This whole segment.
I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so impacty.
It was. But I wouldn't even... No, it's definitely not MLW. MLW's like street schlock. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. MLW's like senior project. This
was very NXT.
Yeah.
I could see Black and Gold NXT doing shit like this. Like, remember the haunted house match? And the other haunted house match with Johnny and Carmelo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, what good times. Let's see, where are we? So we then have Brian Myers talking to some dude on a couch. Bhupinder walks in. He says, you said if I beat Johnny Swinger, I'd get a title shot. They showed on BTI that he got, he beat Johnny Swinger. He said, I beat him. What's next? Myers said, that's not exactly what I said. I said we'd figure it out. You have a great look, but find me when you've got that blue check mark, meaning the verified check mark on Twitter, because it's the digital media title and you don't get a shot at it unless you have a Twitter account.
Is that literally all it takes?
Well, now it seems like you have to be verified on Twitter to get a shot. Is Rich Swann even verified on Twitter? I feel like he's not.
He's been around a while.
I don't even think he has a Twitter account.
Well, then fuck. What are the rules?
Rich Swann He's not verified on Twitter. So what the fuck, Brian Myers? You're changing the rules. Maybe Brian Myers has different rules with his title reign. Matt Cardona's, he was a little more forgiving. You just had to have a Twitter account. Like, does Boopinder even have a Twitter? I feel like he wouldn't.
I love him so much. What a boy.
Boopinder Gujar. Is this him? Oh, yeah, this is. Yeah, this is him. He's from Windsor, Ontario.
Boopinder?
Yeah.
Good for him.
He is on Twitter. Ooh, only 700 followers. You gotta bring up those numbers.
I'm gonna have to make that 701.
What? Oh.
I'm gonna have to make that 701. What do you think I said?
Well, I see he has 753, and I'm like, you're gonna take away 52 of his followers? That's fucked up. I didn't realize you hated Boopinder now.
I'm gonna target them. I want him to have like a vaguely even number.
Let's see. What's Boopinder's numbers compared to Brian Myers? Brian Myers. Oof, yeah, Boopinder's really gonna bring up those numbers. Brian Myers has 398,000. Gotta up those numbers, Boopinder.
We're gonna have to start a campaign. Follow Boopinder.
Yeah. God damn it. Just fucking digital media title. So then we have Tennille Dashwood versus Masha Slamovic. You want to talk about this for 5 seconds?
Yeah, I guess. Tennille gets clobbered, gets pulled back into the ring by her hair. She gets back elbow actually onto Masha, but then gets a dragon screw on her leg. And as she's limping around, she gets hit with the snowplow to win. For Masha to win. Sorry. Tennille does not win.
Imagine. Tennille did the snowplow. Yep, a very quick match. And Masha looks like she's targeting Madison Rayne's next. Or probably Giselle. I don't know. Oh, wait, did she fight Giselle already? Maybe she did. I feel like she did already.
No, she never fought Giselle.
Sorry?
She fought, Alicia.
Alicia. Oh.
When Alicia and Giselle were tagging, she handed Alicia the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia opened it, saw like the X, and Giselle was like, I want nothing to fucking do with that.
Maybe.
And walked the fuck away.
Maybe what this is, Masha wants to team up with Giselle. She's targeting all of Giselle's teammates.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of interesting.
Did she target Lady Frost, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, she wants to be best friends with Giselle.
Masha just doesn't know how to make friends, dude.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna kill everyone.
And Giselle's like such a fucking like,
yeah,
you know, like that's intimidating.
Yeah.
Masha.
You gotta kill all of her friends to be her friend.
That's one way to do it.
Honestly, if that is the story, Impact is promotion of the year. I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
It's best storyline this entire year.
Scott Demore, get on it.
So then we have an interview with Mike Bailey, and this was literally the most babyface promo imaginable. He says, Diener, I've been thinking about him a lot. I said I'd defend this belt against anyone who'd fight me for it. That's why Alan Angel showed up. If Diener wanted my attention, all he had to do was say so. I'm more than happy to have a match with him next week. Like, dude, he fucking attacked you from behind. And you're just like, yeah, if he wants a title shot, he can have it.
Oh God, he's a sweet little prince, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Then we had an interview with Mickie James. She said, you're only as good as your last match. I'm going home, as she's rolling her suitcase out of the arena. I really wonder what's happening with her now. Maybe she's out of Impact for the time being. Focusing on NWA.
Maybe she's taking time off. Oh. Yeah, that would make sense, actually.
Maybe make NWA an actually watchable product. But anyway, we then have the main event, Honor No More versus Bullet Club, which started with Heath coming out and randomly attacking Vincent before running into the crowd. It was so funny. He just came out. He's like, this is probably, I know Frankie Kazarian was the worst elite hunter imaginable, and there were some pretty bad Bullet Club hunters, but Heath is the honor hunter. That's bad. That's not good. Oh,
bless his soul, truly. All right, so we start with Bay we start somewhere. But when I tuned in mentally, it was after the first tag out. So it was Bay and Eddie. Bay gets Eddie into a cover, but Eddie kind of kicks out. Kenny King gets him. It's a boot to his stomach. Ace gets in. He kicks King across the face. Bay uppercuts Kenny. Ace trips him. Bay stomps on his back. Then Taven gets in, and Taven just gets drop kicked. Taven kind of fights back with like a little fist. Bennett gets in off that. Bennett sends Ace into a boot from Taven, but Ace ends up like getting into this position where Taven's going up top. Bennett's trying to hold on to Ace. Ace blocks Bennett, sends Taven, who's going to dropkick Ace, sends him into Bennett, and then it just fucking falls apart. And we go to commercial break. And then we come back. And then it's Carl Anderson and Matt Taven in against each other. Carl gets Gallows, and they double team Taven. Gallows gets some strikes to the body of Taven. Bay gets in with an assisted leg drop to Taven. He sweeps the legs of Taven and then kicks him right in the little button. And then the ref checks on Matt, but Mike Bennett thinks better of that and attacks Bay, who avoids him completely. And then takes out Honor No More completely. And then Taven tries to capitalize, but Bay avoids that as well. And then Bay goes up off the ropes to kind of like maybe attack, pester, I don't know, do something to Kenny King. But Kenny King kind of traps him. Eddie kicks Bay in the face. King gets in, gets a single leg crab on Bay. And this was really just the Bay shit show at this point. Chris Bay got fucking pulverized. King kept him from tagging out, hit him with, or no, not King. Eddie kept him from tagging out, hit him with the overhead belly to belly. Taven got in. He and Bennett take turns beating up Bay. King got in, got a leg drop to Bay. Bay ends up kicking Eddie upside the head. And then the ref gets fucking distracted by Carl Anderson this time. And Honor No More just fucking stomp Bay.
This is just the worst ref imaginable. Worse than Rick Knox.
Oh my God. Yeah. Bay ends up evading Bennett, though, tags out to Carl. Carl sentons onto Taven after clearing the ring. And then everyone takes a turn getting a move off, ending with Luke Gallows getting a boot to the face of Taven. And then Maria low blows Gallows right before he and Carl go for the Magic Killer. And then Honor No More just all get their finishers off, and then they win, pinning Gallows.
Yes. That's the end of tonight's Impact. Nothing really to end on, but some notable matches coming up in Derby City Rumble.
Dirty City Rumble.
We got Alex Shelley versus Chris Sabin, as already mentioned. Winner faces Josh at Emergence. We also have Rich Swann versus Kushida. I feel like that might be for the X Division title, like a title shot. Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim and Jordan Grace. Mike Bailey versus Rocky Romero. Once again, probably for the X Division title. And Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay. They're not going to fucking end this. We're going nowhere with Honor. They got to split that shit up. It's over. Ring of Honor's back. There's no reason to be pissy anymore. Like, fucking split up Honor No More. Have OGK be on their own. Managed by Maria.
Have
Vincent and PCO be a thing.
It's like a woman and a man getting divorced and like the woman remarrying and the kid's like, you're not my real dad, and the stepdad's like, fuck, you're right. Stepdad leaves, real dad comes back, and the kid's still screaming, you're not my real dad, and the dad's like, yes, I am. That's exactly how this feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's coming up. You want to talk about the best of the night?
Yeah. Fuck.
This has been one long news segment. An hour
Well,
and 7 minutes.
technically, this is the news as well.
All right. If you have a question for us after the best of the night, please leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it after the best of the night. If you're watching
or
on
if you have
YouTube,
a question for Pepita.
Or if you have a question for Pepita. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. We'll get to it in the next one. We love to hear from you. If you're listening on Spotify, join us at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast to chat with us live, or DM us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. Once again, we love talking to you. We love answering your questions. We love giving our hot takes. So before we get to the best of the night, let's give a little update on the top 10 wrestlers in pro wrestling in kayfabe. And this is all based on wins and losses. See who's on top in booking. Number 10, the Uwu champion of WWE, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Number 9, the winner of the Best of Super Junior 2022, Hiromu Takahashi. Number 8, the GCW World Champion and interim AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. Number 7, from Dragon Gate, Dragon Dia. Number 6, also from Dragon Gate, Naruki Doi. Number 5, also from Dragon Gate, Yuki Yoshioka. Number 4, the Super Asia Champion of Gato Move, Balion Aki. Number 3 from Dragon Gate, Kaito Ishida. Number 2 from Dragon Gate, Kota Minoura. And number 1, the King of Pro Wrestling Champion, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Shingo Takagi. Alright, let's talk about the best of the night, shall we? Promo of the night.
Sure. We know what it is. We know what it is. You know what it is.
It's
admit to it.
The Undead Realm.
There you go.
It's so bad it's funny. And also just I love seeing Taya and Rosemary. Let's talk about Wrestler of the Night now. Elizabeth, here are your 3 choices. Chris Sabin, Josh Alexander, and Alex Shelley.
Chris Sabin, Josh Alexander, Alex Shelley. I'm going to say Alex Shelley.
I'll go with that.
Alright.
Right now let's talk about the match of the night. I think we know what the match of the night is. I don't really know if we have to talk about it. But it's VBD versus Motor City Machine Guns and Josh.
That's fair.
It was fun. It was a pretty fun match. Didn't do a whole lot, but it was fun. Alright. That's our best of the night. Liz, would you like to close out the show? Reminding everyone we won't be live this weekend. That's
Everyone look at the cat. Here's the cat. I'm not going to touch her because I'm afraid I'm going to scare her. But she's got one paw out. If you can see right about... Nope.
Oh, I see.
Right about there. That's a paw.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, she's slumped. So that's great. If you tuned in today, thank you so much. You got to see a cat. If you tune in the future, thank you so much. You probably also got to see a cat. Unless you're tuning in on Spotify, then you can just perceive the cat. She's a black and white cat. Think of her that way.
With a mask.
Yeah, her name used to be Luchador, which is ironic. Oh, and if you tune in, please tune in next Tuesday When we will be doing our WWE 22 stream, and this time it won't crash.
It won't. It won't. Because I won't be recording it. Unfortunately.
We're gonna find a different way to end up being able to put this on YouTube. It just is not going to be the way that Mark wants to do it. That's the problem.
There might be a way for me to do it. It would just involve me doing a lot outside of the stream. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. All of our stuff, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, and Twitch is all Pinfall Podcast. A new episode of the Universal Pokemon Federation is now live at upfworld.com. If you like wrestling, competition, Pokemon, video games, anything, go check it out. If you like watching things, if you like dancing, go watch it. If you like me, go watch it. If you like Liz, go watch it.
If you like the cat, don't watch it.
Yeah, she's not in it.
Yeah,
upfworld.com. Go check it out. It's a blast. It is a great series. And we won't be going live this weekend. There's nothing going on this weekend. Unless we want to watch. There's not even like GCW going on this weekend. Nothing.
Yeah.
So join us on Tuesday for our 2K22 stream, as Liz already mentioned. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.